Now we're going to talk about gears of breath. This subject is much more extensive. It's much bigger than this, but we just want to give you something very small. So this isn't just a 3-gear system. We're just trying to make this breath piece when training the most tangible at the beginning so that you don't feel overwhelmed. Okay? So in this, gear 1 is going to be a nose breath. Now, there's spaces in between here where you're building your intensity, and there will be a demo video after this one of breathing through the gears of breath, just so you can hear what this looks like, hear what it looks like, but also what it sounds like. And so we're going to use that nose, okay? And then we're going to have this nose-mouth breath, okay, which we're going to use a lot. This is a great place to be. And then we're going to have mouth. But what you need to understand is that in the midst here there's more intensity. We don't take the gears and just do the gears. We actually have to match our breath and our movement so that we are engaged in reality. And so when you choose perform in your workouts, you will range gear 1 to 3. You're going to use all gears. Gear 3 is a really high level of intensity for really short bouts. So this will be like explosive, short type sprint things where you're just going. This is going to be more in our set ready pieces and where you're building things. But you can also use this as a way of spending more time here in your training to get really accustomed to train your breathing muscles, okay? And then this nose-mouth place, this is going to be a lot of where your training is at. Now, in complete, you're probably going to be spending most of your time nose and nose-mouth just for stress purposes, right? And so unless we're looking at levels of going to like complete failure, which we would call max effort, that will be a space that you won't spend a lot of time there when you are using and choosing your complete workout. You're going to spend a lot of time here and here. And in recover, the workout will be done nose. And so there's a space of changing these gears based on the intensity of movement, but we need to match our breath and our movement, our state and our action, and this is going to be a practice. So what I want for you to know, you're not going to get this right away, and that is totally okay. This is a skill that you get to learn. This is a place where you get to be patient with yourself, where you get to try things, where you get to fail. Right now, we're just going to be working this nose, this nose-mouth, and this mouth space, and we're just going to be using that. And you can try these out. What does it look like to just go nose? What does it look like to go nose-mouth? And when we're talking about nose and nose-mouth, in the nose, we're looking at kind of breathing up and back. We're not just breathing back, we're not just breathing up, but we're taking that breath in the nose, wide, here. And then as we're exhaling through our nose, you're not just like blowing boogers out your nose, you're sort of exhaling out of the back of your throat. Okay, so now with the nose-mouth, in the nose, same thing. Breath is wide. We're working on breathing wide in our rib cage, but also thinking about breathing back. If you can really work on getting this breath kind of like low and in the back of your rib cage, this will be very, very helpful for creating stability through the middle, etc. But in the nose, and then we're out through the lips. This will help us stay engaged in a very present state we're doing something very sympathetic with our bodies, but then I can, and the breath on the inside of the lips is going to help activate that parasympathetic part of the nervous system. That is the same thing within the nose and out. Nose, I'm doing something that's hard with my body, but my breath is keeping my body in this this parasympathetic place, so I'm really nice and balanced. So the breath on the inside of both of the lips is really helpful to keep that state nice and managed, to also be able to really engage the breath. We can also, or You can hum from the back of your throat. That's also very helpful for you to stay present in the midst of struggle. And then as we move into that mouth, it's very, so the breath is still wide, right? This way instead of this way. So those are just some things to keep in mind as you're practicing. So have fun with this, but also be really patient with yourself. Learn to find your edges, and every single aspect of your life will change.